It's coming. It's close.
22. Because it's coming whether you like it or not. Some of you might be wondering, like, you guys are like, I just started my holidays, but how come, teachers, right? Like too gung ho already. We have to talk about studying when you just try and want to enjoy yourself. We're like your parents, right? No, that's not true. We're leaving it up here early enough so that when you go back to school, all right, if you ever need a tip or a hand, it's right here for you. So if you don't care about it now, I bet you will later. You know why? Because we've handled hundreds and hundreds of you over like the span of 26 years. So it is it is a given. It is like, there we go. So this is my crystal ball thing. Hi, for those of you who are joining us, I'm Erica. Oh, Teacher Erica. This is Teacher Joe. And our special guest, Teacher Grace!
Hi!
For those of you who are following our social media, I did not review who our mystery guest is because I thought it would be fun. Everyone who sees me and her thinks we're clones.
You can compare screenshot right now. Spot the difference.
and yeah, it normally causes an uproar in the classes, and we have kids looking at each other going, they're speaking to themselves.
Yes.
She'll have a conversation.
Erica is talking to herself, and then they started. Oh!
They're very naughty. They're very cheeky, but yeah, there we go. So we're teachers who hated studying because memorizing did not work for us, and we've seen over the years that memorizing does not work for so many of you, and that's why studying is such a struggle. Studying is such a chore, and it is absolutely boring for so many of you out there.
Yep.
And because of that, like it then makes it harder to do well, right? Because if you think about all the stuff that you enjoy out there, it's easy to excel in it because you enjoy it. You don't have to like make yourself do it.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right. So for today, we're going to give you a hint of what we're going to be talking about. All right. So it's this one idea, okay? Because once you get this, whatever we explain next and what you choose to do with it will come to you so much more easily, so much easier, so much more easily. I can't English today, so. Yes. So basically, we're gonna start with the game. So those of you at home, if you're at home and you're watching this right now with us, feel free to join in because this is how we make our classes interactive. All right. Learning should always be like active and fun and like involving you guys. That's how we like to do it. Okay. So we're gonna play a game. Yeah. Joe and Teacher Grace are great.
Yay.
Teacher Joe and Teacher Grace are gonna jump right in. Okay. So the rule is, some of you may have played this before. But it's always a good mental exercise, right? So the rule is that whichever direction I point in, you have to look the opposite way. Okay? Yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Let's warm up.
I can't see now. Wait, I need to. I'm looking at the screen.
I have to look at the screen.
You're like hantu now. You're like ghost. Okay, this.
Wait, why is it going the wrong side?
And this. Okay, one more. One more. Yay, Joe got it.
It was always that way, right, Joe?
Yeah.
The one that's her kryptonite. Oh, dear.
Thanks, guys, for being such great sports. Yeah. So guys, we won't make you do things we normally wouldn't do. Okay. So, and we're pretty crazy. So you guys, if you ever come to the school and you watch us teach, we're pretty crazy. So, there's a lot of things that we probably do that you wouldn't. I think.
That was a good warm up.
So, what does this have to do with today's topic? Well, the answer is adaptability.
Wow. Da da da.
Okay, so why adaptability, right? It's because for because for the past 2 years, we have seen, schools going online, offline, back again online, then offline again, then online after like a mere 3 days of starting. That's what happened to our school and the students in it, right? So we this could be the new normal.
Yep.
We realize a lot of people, a lot of students, and a lot of teachers struggled with all these like quick changes. And that's why today we wanted to discuss study skills that would allow you to adapt very, very quickly to your situation. Yeah. Yep. So that this kind of reduces the stress, because we found that you guys are generally really adaptable. So it's just a matter of thinking, like, you guys adapted to online really quickly, but I think when it kept switching back and forth a lot, then that kind of wears down on you. And different people have got different levels of adaptability.
Yep.
Like Joe and I and Grace, we're fairly adaptable. If things quickly come our way, we can pivot very quickly. Whereas like for Nad and Yvonne, they are more the people where they just need a bit more, constancy, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Okay. So it's just that for those of us who can adapt very fast, that's chaotic, lah. And then for people who
Very,
can't adapt
very
quickly, it's highly stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I just add on that
Yeah.
being adaptable is very, very obtainable. Like, you can grow this skill. You can become more adaptable, because I used to have difficulty adapting to certain things. There were certain areas in my life where I was adaptable and fine, but there were some core things when it hit and it changed, I could not deal with it when I was younger. But now I'm much more able to handle it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that it's entirely possible for you to take it on. So if, let's just say, your level of adaptability is low right now, it doesn't mean that it will always be that way.
Yeah.
Cool. That's very valuable advice. If you guys want to know how, do you want to share like an instance where you couldn't remember you couldn't sleep because we switched school?
Oh yeah. When I was 9, yes, when I was 9 years old, we changed our schools very suddenly.
Oh.
To there were certain issues or certain things that the school was doing that our mom did not agree with, so she took us out, put us into another school. But I had trouble sleeping, and I could not sleep for months.
Wow.
And I needed someone like mom or the kaka to come into the room to sleep with
Next to
me.
you.
But I could not sleep.
Oh.
So that was the kind of, like, I had certain moments in my life, like when there was a major change, then that was what happened. I just could not sleep, or I did stuff that was self-sabotagey, like not hand in my work. Yes.
Oh.
And then later on suffer the consequences of having like really bad grade for one subject when everything else is fine. you get odd things like this. So that was me when I was younger. So this was like childhood all the way up to even university. I still had that issue.
Oh.
It was major life events. I think that was what it was. So.
And whether you like it or not, COVID is a major life event. It has changed all of us for the better or for worse. That's
Yep.
it's hard for me to say whether it's for better or so I'll just say for better or worse, it has changed, and there is a new normal, and it's not likely to go back to what it once was. It's possible. Yeah. So bearing that in mind, that is why we decided to talk about this topic of adaptability. So we're gonna start with the first tip that should help you kind of get there as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, Joe, you want to take it away? Oh, and for those of you who are just joining us, if you're enjoying our content right now, Joe, what should they do?
Comment below to say hi or subscribe to our video or our channel.
Yes. And to those of you who have been following us on social media, just know that we'll be having Christmas giveaways, so look out for it there. It's more to thank you guys for your support, for your encouragement, and just for being there with us all this time. Yeah, so thanks very much for that.
Yay, free things.
All right, so let us begin with point number 1. Yeah.
Point number 1 will be resourceful. So that is to maximize like the use of the, whether it's online or offline resources. Because nowadays, we like it or not, all these resources are very easy to access. It's just a matter of whether you know how to access it or where to access it. Yeah. So just make sure you go look up everything that you need online, YouTube tutorials, even like some of the craft tutorials during your holidays. Yeah, you can go search it on YouTube and all the stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or you could even make use of like Pinterest to look for pretty notes, which already done by the others. You don't have to do anything. You basically just need to print it out and then put it out on the wall so that you can, yeah, go through the information once repeatedly. And it's a very nice visually done notes as well. Yeah. So yeah, the main idea here is to be resourceful because once you get to that point, no matter what are the difficulties are, you will actually always constantly search for the solutions just to get there. Yeah.
So, guys, just to ground this a bit more, another way to probably look at it is to keep an eye out for things that perhaps it'll kind of eat into the second point, which is the idea of lag time. Because whenever change happens, there is a lag time where you will have to adapt to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, maximizing the use of your resources, it would also be helpful to like identify like, oh man, like I'm really slow here at this particular topic, or I'm really slow here at getting my notes done, or like I'm struggling to understand this concept. So to identify those areas of lag and figuring out like, hey, is there a YouTube video I could watch over and over again
Yep.
to help me understand that topic? Are there notes on Pinterest where like I can take a look at it, maybe model the notes after it, or if not, just take it wholesale because it's easier to read from. So just little things like that. Find ways where you can hack the fact that there is going to be that lag. Yeah. So because the analogy that we came up with just now in discussion was, Grace, do you want to do it? Do you want to explain the analogy for lag?
Oh, right. Yes, lag. Basically, imagine that you've been sitting somewhere completely peaceful, palm trees swaying in the wind, it's balmy, it's beautiful, and suddenly, bam, you're running in the middle of a marathon. Doesn't that sound great? It's a recipe for stress.
And then bam, suddenly you plunge into a lake.
Or suddenly, then you're running on sand in a marathon in the water.
It rains.
How awful.
Yes.
How awful. Can you imagine the stresses that start impacting you, your mental state, your body? Oh my God. I would not want to be that person. I'd be screaming in anguish, like, oh no, my life.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Whenever there's change, there will be time needed to adjust to it. So that's where the lag is. Yeah. So, and we're not robots. Yeah, at all. Yeah, and so there'll be like emotional challenges that we will go through as well. Yeah. So when that happens, then just feel into it, breathe. Know that's perfectly normal to feel scared or like frustrated or anything like that. So that's part of what causes lag time. Other things could be your environmental factors and things like that. Like when the world first went into lockdown, I think a lot of people were ill-equipped to actually be learning online. So, it took time to, because the webcams were sold out everywhere and the price went up for a lot of electronics, right? So there will be, that's also another form of lag. Yeah, in case, so just to give you guys more context. Yeah, Joe, do you want to add?
So far so good.
Okay, so yeah, it's like if you guys know Roger Federer, may not be your time, but if you know of Roger Federer or tennis in particular, like there's 3 courts that you have to play on, the normal one, grass, and clay. And all of them are kind of different. I personally think clay court is particularly difficult because it's so slippery. Like you run and you stop, but you won't, unless you train on it, you probably won't stop where you think you'll stop. Pretty much. Yeah. And the training for each court will be, quite different, I believe. Yeah, because on a grass court, the ball will not bounce the way you think it's going to bounce. Yeah, I feel, because the grass will like mute it. Yeah, will mute the force. Yeah, so think about it that way.
Yes. So I would add on that adjust your expectations of yourself. Because if you're going to be on those different courts, or you were initially running on that clay court and then suddenly now you're on a grass court, you might just fall down if you continue running at the exact same pace, right? So you are going to need time to pick yourself back up if you do fall down, right? So, but if you're aware that, oh, I've switched to a grass court, and then, okay, let me slow myself down a little bit, right? Then you end up not falling down. And so you don't have to waste time trying to pick yourself back up, dressing your wounds. You have to worry about those things. So that's what we mean by adjusting your expectations. So that way you don't feel frustrated with yourself. Like, why can't I do this? I can run there. Why can't I run here? Well, it's a completely different context. It's a different surface. So maybe the technique of running is actually different. So you need to give yourself time and be aware that you are going to need time to adjust that.
So for those of you who are just joining us, say hi in the chat. If you have any further questions on this, feel free to DM us if you're shy, or feel free to drop a comment with a question. We'll come back to you as soon as possible. And I think I forgot to mention, Teacher Grace is basically a study coach as well. She's been coaching a couple of kids as well. So we brought her on here because they found her ability to coach helpful, and we are about to open a service like this very, very soon. For you guys, a buddy that can be there with you if you have any questions or dealing with lag time and you're not sure how. Okay.
Yes, handling your studies or figuring out where you want to go and what do you want with your studies? What do you want as the teenager or as the student that you are? What else do you want in life? And then we will help you figure all that out and figure out how to fit those things into your life as well. Yes, in a way that works for you.
Cool.
It's very customized, and we like that you're special. Okay, so we'll make it special for you because
very
you're
personalized.
That's the point.
Yes. So and Joe is here because he's one of the most resourceful people I've ever known, and a lot of these things has to do with resourcefulness. So
yes,
there we go.
We've worked with him for years. With him for years. He has always been resourceful. He always finds a way to get something that he doesn't know how to do done. It's amazing.
And he does it very quickly. His level of adaptability and
Yes. So if you do have questions about how he does it, feel free to ask him because he's very good at it. I definitely feel he's way better than me at it. Seriously. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. And Teacher Grace, do you want to take on that last bit?
Yes.
The last. Yep.
So this last one is to pay attention to the core things that are actually going to help you succeed. So you focus on those things so that what it does is it frees up the bandwidth in your head so that there's extra space and room for you to deal with the things that are changing. So look at what's not changing, right? So in order to do well in your studies, at the end of the day, what do you need to know? Your definitions. You still need to be clear on your definitions. And that kind of clarity will serve you in your exams, in life, in work, because being clear actually prevents a lot of issues from arising. So that's core. Okay, being able to explain things, being able to explain yourself, giving examples so that people understand you. So those are some basic skills, whether it's written, spoken, you need this, right? Being able to remember and recall things, that's another thing. So when you have your points, whether it's advantages and disadvantages of something, right? You will need to know them. You will need to be able to recall them quickly. So those are skills that those are things you can still practice because you still need to know them, whether you're online or not, right? So pay attention to what those things are. What skills do you need, right? These skills don't change. Once you have them, again, I think the beautiful analogy of riding a bicycle or walking. Now that you know how to walk, you can't learn to unwalk. It doesn't work that way. So
I think same goes to swimming.
Sorry, what?
Same goes to swimming, right?
Yeah, once you know how to swim, right? Once you know how to ride a bicycle, you can't undo it. It's like you don't know how to not do it anymore. You know what I mean? Unless you happen to get some kind of brain trauma that affects then okay, fine.
Awful. Yeah.
No, you can't unwalk, you can't unride a bicycle, right? So these skills are basic. So these things anchor you. So these are the unchanging things that you can find in your changing world, if that makes sense. So then that will help you actually be more adaptable, because you're like, okay, I know this is still here. I've got this, right? So let me figure out what to do with the rest of these things that are driving me crazy. So yes, that's how these will help you. So even though I know like whatever we've shared is quite broad, it's a lot to do with how you're thinking or how you're perceiving things.
The mindset.
Yes, and that's because I think that is the most important thing actually for you to understand first. Then you will be able to really maximize the tools and the specific things that we can teach you later more effectively.
Yep.
Okay, because if we just gave you the tool, it's like, I don't know, if I gave someone a pair of pliers or a pair of scissors and they've never seen a pair of scissors before in their life, they're gonna be like, cool. I'm just gonna put it up on my wall. It looks nice. Dude, that's not what it's for. Okay, so there's no understanding of what it is and why it was created. So yes, that's why we're tackling the mindset first, the mind space. Yes. So just keep in mind. Yes, go Erica.
Yeah, it's basically giving you context. Yeah, because like I could store, where are my pens? Oh yeah. I mean, where am I storing these things so that I can use them, and how do I use them? Okay, yeah. So in an art context, this would be used to make pretty pictures, right?
Yep.
In a school context, this would be used to like take notes, write words, and hopefully beautify your notes. Yeah, a little bit artsy in that context, but for school,
or doodle on your textbook.
Yes, so that you don't fall asleep in the classroom.
Yep.
Or your teachers. Yeah. So these are kind of like so basically, just to anchor that analogy a bit better, it's a bit more for you guys. Yeah, it's think of it that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
think of it that way, because these are things that no one taught us in school.
No.
These are things that over the years we figured out because we've helped thousands of our students overcome their hatred for studying or their resistance to studying. Yeah, in a way where we didn't have to nag, we didn't have to scold them, we didn't have to some, but not all, but majority of the time, without nagging, scolding, or even bargaining with them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to qualify the thing about adaptability, right? Because like teacher Erica was saying, nobody teaches you these things, and it is true, because a lot of the time, unfortunately, a lot of adults will tell you, be more adaptable. You know how? Do you even know where to start? Right? So that's not teaching, that's telling you. And then you're going like, okay, I want to be more adaptable, but what do I do? Right? And we don't blame you one bit, because it's kind of, when someone tells you to be more interesting or be happier. Right? Like, how do you do that? What's interesting to them may not be interesting to you, or someone else may find you incredibly interesting. So these are the things where it's true that it's not taught specifically.
Yep.
Right? You don't actually get specific and specific ways of being able to do stuff, or like at least someone to help you think of specific ways. That's where we are trying to help frame that context that will then make the specifics make sense.
Yes. And this is something that you can take all the way into like when you leave school as well. And that's what we like to do at our school. We like to leave you guys with skills. It has not changed here either. We like to leave you guys with skills that will help you long after you guys graduate.
Yes.
Yeah. So
because at the end of the day, you are only a student for 20-something years of your life, unless you take a doctorate or PhD. Then of course it'll be longer. But in general, you're a student for say 20-something years of your life, and then after that you have your life. So yes, we need to make sure that you have skills that last you for life. Because you're not a student for very long.
You're on your own, man.
Yep.
Yep, and it's scarier than yes. One more thing I want to add to the core things is the fact that I understand also that when you do study your information, always aim to know and understand the information.
Yes.
Yeah, always aim for that because a lot of the questions in O levels, especially, and I believe it could be the same for SATs and all that, because they will ask you application questions. They won't come right out and say like, okay, guys, what are the first 20 elements, or which element is a chemical bond, unless you're taking the core paper. But usually, if you're taking like extended, they're normally going to ask you application questions like,
Yes.
how do you know where this element is on the periodic table? Yeah, like
Yes.
what's the number and all this kind of thing. So normally that's where a lot of students kind of like
They falter. Okay, or that. That's more than faltering.
like so I say, right? Like fall
Yes.
flat on their faces in the exam. Like they know this stuff, or at least they've memorized it. But it kind of shows us that you also don't really know and understand. Yeah, you don't really understand what it is. So when you're learning, understanding is always better than memorizing because that stays in your mind for a long term, very long term, compared to like memorizing. Memorizing, you go in the exam hall, walk out, and it's gone, man.
Yeah, I mean, as students, I know in university when I was doing accounting, I had never done accounting in my life, and I had to do it for my first year of uni. Oh, it was awful. I didn't understand a thing, so I memorized just to get through it. Yes, I memorized. I did past year papers until the cows came home, and I got a high distinction. And you know what? Today I know nothing. What does that tell you about memorizing? I know nothing, really. It just gone. But I got a high distinction. So
Okay.
Which is an accountant. But you're not an accountant, right?
totally not an accountant. I cannot account.
Joe, do you have
Not
any stories?
accountable.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I cannot do accounting. Basically, just no. I just don't understand it.
Joe, do you have any stories about memorizing or anything like that?
No, but in terms of applications, if you're talking about art and design college or universities, we often apply it straight away onto the artwork itself. So it's slightly different than the usual learning environment. Because the moment when we got like new skills or knowledge from the class already, then we will straight away apply it onto the artwork itself. Whether it's the design elements or the color usage and all that stuff, it's everything straight away applied. So it's slightly different, yeah, than the usual learning environment.
Very cool, very cool. And on that note, that was a really awesome share, Joe, because it will lead really nicely into next week's topic. Yeah, we will be discussing what that would be, or something around that concept. Yeah, for next week's topic, which is bad study habits you should kick in 2022.
Kick it to the curb. Kick it.
Hiya! So yeah, but we'll only reveal it next week, of course, because we want to see you again and we want you to see us.
Yeah.
We're being super transparent, and next week it will be our very very last episode for the year because we're all gonna take a break for the New Year's. Yeah.
Yeah, let's celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. So next week, if you guys join us, I know we can't see you, but if you want to just do it for fun, go like I mean, come dressed in your best Christmas gear. Yeah, and if you want, you can take a picture of yourself and just DM us. We'll be very happy to see you. But we'll be decked out.
Yes,
in
we will be in our
Arrows of
full
Holly.
Christmas regalia. You wait.
Oh, wow.
That sounded very dramatic, but no, it's just Christmas costume, man. Come with it.
Reindeer on top of it.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh, you guys are so fun. All right, so everyone, thank you so much for joining us. It's time to wrap up. So to just quickly wrap up, the three things that we discussed today was maximizing your that help you be adaptable, right? Especially when you're going offline and online every time. Will be maximizing your resources, lag time, and the last one is core skills. A core things. Was it core things? Yes.
The
things.
core,
Yeah,
skills,
the core
things,
skills
that
and things.
anchor, yeah,
Yeah.
anchor your studies or learning.
Yes. Okay, so let me try that again. It's maximize resources, lag time, and core skills or core things. Yeah. So there we go. So as long as you bear in mind these three things, you should be able to, you will be able to get through the changes with a lot more ease and grace. And even if you do fall down, you'll know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
you'd be able to like react quickly and fix it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no way you're not gonna fall down.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that, we'll just be real. There's no way we can avoid that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
And anyone who promises you like 100% guarantee for success or you'll never ever fall down, yeah, run the other way.
That's so unrealistic. It is
Yeah.
not how life works at all.
Yeah. We wish that were the case, but that's not really. But what we can do is share with you the things that will increase your chances of succeeding.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because there's so many factors at play. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you enjoyed today's episode and you want more and you love what we're saying about education and you find what we're sharing helpful for you, or you know that it would also help your friends, please let them know about it. Joe, what else can they do?
They can just text us or in the comment below or reach out to our social media platforms. We are on TikTok as well. Yeah. Yeah, with all the yes, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we are on YouTube, we are on, was it Discord as well? Oh no, Twitch.
We're on Twitch, yeah.
Yeah, we're on Twitch. Yep.
Yeah. So any one of these things is fine. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you next week for the final episode of
Yay!
Woohoo! 2021. No, wait, that's 12.
Wait.
Okay, let me try that. 21.
Yeah, there we go. That came out right.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.